Hey guys. Hello, hello. I see faces. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I'm Sandra D, founder of Charismatic Cowgirl and Charisma on Camera. I told you guys today that I was going to hop on. Thank you again. And I was going to hop on and talk a little bit about how to ask for your worth. This is a really big thing. And I know that if you're in the female entrepreneur community, that you have probably heard conversations around this topic a lot. I'm going to give you maybe some stuff you've heard before, but I'm going to also give you some perspective that maybe you hadn't thought of before. So let's just see if it gives you one little nugget to be able to ask for your worth with a little more power, confidence, and strength than me hopping on here this morning, Saturday morning, is a good thing. So let's just get to that real quick. I'll share something with you how this shows up when I'm working with the horses. So when I say that there's natural components to things, I can actually see people that are afraid to ask for their worth in the way they relate to their equine partner, their horse partner, when we're doing these live events. And I'll give you, for instance, this happens quite a lot, that I had a woman who would not be assertive enough in asking for instance, for her space. Now, there can be other indications from this same thing, like there's a boundary protection that will show up, or lack of boundaries that'll show up with people in the arena as well. But this particular occasion, there had been a few other things that had happened, and it ended up with the horse kind of shoving her around, where she finally, I just said to her, I go, look, I said, don't move your feet. She looked at me and she's like, what? Like, don't move your feet. A dominant horse, like a dominant person, will move everybody else's feet in the herd, but they don't like to have their feet moved. They're going to move everybody else. They're going to get what they want. So if you think of a person that is asking you to move on your fees, or is hinting around that before you even give him your proposal, that they don't have a lot of money and that they're not going to budge in their budget, and you just have to not move your feet. So you're going to find out what that is that you need to ask for. Notice I said what you need to ask for, and you're going to hold to it. So the best way to do that, you've heard people that have said, and it's funny, so when I said, don't move your feet, by the way, she stayed there, did not move her feet, and the horse totally gave her her space, which would be like a human that's trying to forewarn you that they're going to negotiate hard, if they don't have a budget, and you just give them what you want. And if you hold that space with power and assertiveness and confidence, you'll end up getting it. So here's the cool thing. She held her space, and she got her space in the arena, which is what she wanted. That was her payment in the metaphor, I guess you could say. So you've heard people say that when you're trying to fix your rate, now what you're going to offer for what you serve. So in other words, coaches, I'm sure you go through this a lot, even with your certification course, whatever it was, you probably had something that said, hey, here's how you set your rate. Some of that is good, but basically it's way too much for me to go into here now. So basically what I'll say is figure out what you need. In other words, what do you need to make from each person? What do you actually need? Don't go below that. You actually want to go way above that. In fact, you don't have to go crazy. You don't have to go to something that doesn't feel congruent with you. In other words, like some of these affirmations that you say, okay, I want to make, let's just say, I'm going to set my single, let's just say I have a 6-month program. I'm making this up now. And I'm going to charge $4,000 for that. That's how much I need, because I have overhead and office space or whatever, and that's what I'm going to charge. And so there will be some coaches that say, go ahead and double that. Well, you're not actually going to ask for $8,000, but here's a hint. Because if you ask for $8,000, you're not going to own it. You know what I'm saying? You can double what you think you need and get out there and say, I'm going to ask this. Hello, Marianne. Hello. You can say, I'm going to ask for double that. But if you actually get those words out of your mouth, they're not going to come out without wavering, without hesitation. They're not going to come out with strength and conviction and owning that. They're going to come out a little weak, because it's not congruent with what you actually believe and what you know you actually need. So many women, especially in the service industry, will feel like, well, I just want to take care of my customers. I just want people to be happy. That's a beautiful feminine quality, to be a caretaker and to be concerned and compassionate. On the other hand, we got to step it up, and we got to be unafraid to ask for what we want. I really think and Sheryl Sandberg steps to this as well, that it's partly because we don't ask that we're paid less, or we have that sense of, oh, well, maybe if I'm nice and giving a discount, they'll work with me. We don't have to be nice. We're worth every single penny of what we're delivering. So what we need to figure out is, what do we absolutely crucially 100% need? Put on top of that what you might want to give back. Add 10% if you tithe, add 10 or 15% if you give to charities, and make that a really comfortable offer for you. Look at that number and go, okay, I get it. Now the way to practice, this is going to go back to the doubling. And this is going to sound a little crazy, but believe me, it works, especially if you have something like you're a consultant and you're putting together something that is a big package and it's a big number. I had a client that first, years ago came to me, and we used this technique because she had been working kind of hour by hour doing social media for people. And then she had an opportunity for her first corporate consulting, like major deal. And I think the fee really didn't seem like it was that bad for what she was offering, but it was like $15,000. So that was what was in her proposal. She had never asked for that before. This is where she wanted to go, but she had never asked for that. Well, we went through and figured out that was a good number for her. It was enough for her to cover her costs, to make money, and to be able to propel herself forward in her business and feel good. But she still couldn't get those words out because it was such a jump from what she had done. So what I did, and what you can do, is figure out what it is that you charge, or what you'd like to charge, whatever your proposal is going to be, then double it. So let's just say, going back to the 6-month program with this coach, what did I say? $4,000, right? So go ahead and make that $8,000. If you want to go crazy for practice, you can make it $12,000, $10,000. And you say that over and over and over to yourself, So in the shower, in the car, you're constantly repeating. And say it out loud so that you're hearing it, you're feeling it in your body when you're saying it, you're hearing it, you're speaking it, like all these different things are going on, and it's constantly being reverberated through your body and in your brain that you charge $10,000 for this, what did I say, 6-month program, right? So let's just say I charge $10,000 for my program. I charge $10,000 for my program. You're in the shower, you're driving to work, you're having lunch, and you're repeating it to yourself. You're thinking it, you're speaking it. It sounds crazy, I know. But if you do this, you can even record it, put it in the headphones, and go to sleep with it. I'm serious, like, get this in your brain, your voice saying, I charge $10,000. The funny thing is, when you sit down at a meeting where you're going to pitch your proposal for $4,000, it should flow off your mouth as if it's nothing. So instead of going with a stutter, clearing the throat, these are the things that women do to give away that we're not comfortable, by the way. We pause, we hesitate, we take a breath, we clear our throat, we look away, we have a little shift in body as if we're trying to get up our nerve, and then we ask for the amount. And a lot of times we ask for the amount with a tonation that says that we're not really confident. We don't know we're doing all these things, but these are what we call tells. And if I see that in somebody, I know that they're not really owning that. You got to own it if you're going to get it. So by asking for 2 to 3 times more than what you're actually going to be proposing, by the time you throw it out, it's going to seem like, oh, it's only $4,000. And you will own that. And in that tone, when you deliver it to somebody, they will most likely understand that that is your worth. That is your worth. So that helps you, that helps them, because if you say it with assertiveness, chances are very much slimmer that they're going to try to negotiate with you because you're owning it. If they do try to negotiate with you, you simply say, I'm sorry, but I'm worth it. And then this is a tough part. Shut up. Keep your mouth shut. Do not start to waver. Do not go into that, keep your body still. If you're in person, if you're on the phone, just keep quiet. Watch your breathing. I'm serious. Just stop. Say, no, I'm worth it. The first time somebody did this with me, I had absolute respect for her. And you know what? I paid. I think I mentioned this in the last video when I was saying, don't discount. And this is why. So just own it. Say this is how much it is. And if you have done this exercise where you've doubled or even tripled what that amount is, it should flow off of your tongue like it's nothing. It's almost like magic. When you first say it, you're going to want to jump up and down because it rolls out so easily. It's so, so cool. Let me see if I have anything else here. So I decided to do this topic because and I'm not a money coach, okay? But the way you ask and receive for things, especially around money, is so important. And it's so deeply ingrained in us. So the way you do anything is the way you do everything. So your attitude towards money is directly, and your self-worth is directly going to come out when you ask for your fee. So when I'm working with people and I see them get shy of protecting their space or asking for what they want, chances are in the arena, it's directly related to something in their life. And a lot of times for women, it's around money. The only negotiations would be for my mom, and hers would be free. Well, I know you value it. It's good to value your life, Marianne. That's good. So I just want to say that I don't coach directly on money. That doesn't turn me on. And that also, I'm going to touch on that because that is one of the reasons people, especially women, say, well, I can't set a goal. Like, how many times have you gone to money coaches, right? Money mindset coaches. Some of them are awesome, and some of them will do things that don't quite fit with you. They're not in alignment with your values. And those are the ones I found first. And well, I always think you can get something. You can get a little nugget from people. Okay, even if they don't think the same way as you can still get a nugget from them. But what I learned is that if somebody said to me, all right, write down how much you want to make. And I'd write down, let's just say for the sake of argument, $100,000 for the year. Okay, well, 6 figures. And then they would say, now triple that. Think of how much you could do with that. Think of how much you could buy with that. That doesn't get me excited. That doesn't work for me. Numbers on a page don't work to motivate me. What works to motivate me is thinking about how much I can give back when I have. So money is just an energy exchange. And once I started looking at that, I was like, oh, right. So by asking for what you're worth, that actually makes you more powerful in the world. Plus, as I mentioned in my last video, not to discount, you're actually doing your potential client a favor by not discounting. I know that sounds crazy. Watch that video. You'll see what I was talking about. But so I hope that makes sense of why I'm doing this topic. It certainly doesn't seem at first like it's related to natural principles, but it's that ability to ask, which so often when it comes to money, we let all the other stuff get in the way. And we lose our ability to clearly communicate. I say as I stutter, that's perfect. And it really can come, this kind of, it's energy. I'm just making sure I didn't forget anything. And yes. So I think I covered everything. So I'm gonna let you guys go because it's Saturday morning. But I just want you to know that whether you're a coach, or I used coaches as a as a reference in what I was talking about, because that's what I do. That's what I know a lot of you do, something along those lines. So, but if you're in any industry, even if you are asking for a raise and you're in a 9-to-5 job, this attitude is important. The way you ask for it is important. Put your shoulders back if you want to do, was it Amy Cuddy that did the Superwoman pose? I mean, go for it. That's one thing you can do. There's a lot of different ways that we ask for what we want. Asking for money is just one of them. Asking for our personal boundaries, setting emotional boundaries, asking for affection and love in relationships. There are so many different ways that you can ask. You can ask for support from your team. You can ask for results from your clients. There are so many things that we ask, and this is part of a relationship. It's the asking and receiving. I can't stress this enough, that the more powerfully you can ask for these various items in your life, the richer your relationships are going to be. Yes, there's a second portion of that, which is listening and receiving the answers. So, but we'll get into that a little later. But I just wanted to share a little of this with you. This is some of the stuff that I'm going into with the upcoming program. It's called Unbridled. And we should have the ability to sign up for this next week. So you'll hear more about it next week. It's just 40 days with me live. I'm with you on a Zoom call, not too unlike this. And we're going to be going over some of these components and ways that you can really learn how to communicate clearly, using the principles of nature, using the stuff that I have been seeing for the past really couple of years since I've been rolling out quietly the Charismatic Cowgirl programs. And so I want to be able to extend that to the folks that maybe can't make it here to Austin or can't make it to where I'll be doing the workshops in this upcoming year. So Thank you guys for being here. And if you have anything that you're pitching coming up and you have to ask for money, give this a try. I'd love to know how it works for you. So you can post your success on the Charismatic Cowgirl group page and let us share in that. I think that'd be really awesome. Okay, so it is Saturday. I am off and running. I have a ridiculous amount of energy, even though it is pouring down rain outside. So I'm going to go burn some of that energy and treat myself to a manicure, pedicure, do some business, and just make it the best Saturday that I can. So I hope you do the same. If that includes a manicure, pedicure for you, cool. If not, just make it a great day. Thanks for being here, you guys. I really appreciate it. And I will see you live like this in a couple of days. In the meantime, if you're watching this afterwards, thank you again for being here. Leave me some comments. Let me know what you think. Does this sound like something that would work for you? Have you ever tried it? If you are one of my clients and you've tried this, put down here that it worked for you. Okay, so that's it. See you later. Have a good one. Bye.